Hi guys, it's Teacher Janelle. In this video, we are going to talk about impressions and how important creating impressions are. Or should you know if I still care to make impressions? Let's talk about impressions first and when it happens, when it usually happens. According to experts, the first 7 seconds that a person has get to know you or get to meet you, that is when the first impression happens. And first impression is very difficult to remove from the minds of the people who has just met you. That is why it is very important to establish a good first impression, especially if you're in for a job interview. So if you are wanting to get that job, the dream job you have, you are going to bend over backwards to get that great impression. Okay, so I have found these tips on how to establish a good impression. But I'm gonna share to you only 6. So there are a lot of them scattered or all over the internet like mushrooms though. But we're gonna talk about 6 only. So the first one is, of course, that this is very important. Be punctual. If you're dying to get that job, or that thing that you really want the most, you are going to be punctual in your first meetup. No employer or no businessman would care about your excuses of being late. So whatever circumstances you have, you should always be punctual, because that is one of, let's just say, the greatest impression marker. If you come in late for your first job interview, you might be in bad luck. Next is carry a nice, warm smile. Okay, so that actually that smile makes or gives you that glowing charisma. So it gives you this very easy to talk with, very approachable aura if you have that wonderful smile. But don't fake your smile. Carry that nice warm smile, because a fake smile is very, let's just say, transparent. So whoever you're talking with, they would sense that fake smile if you wear that. So make sure you face the mirror and you practice your nice warm smile. Okay, next, be positive. Yes, one of the, let's just say, one of the things that you have to consider in order for you to give that nice warm smile is because you have that positive disposition. So if you are positive in all things, the rest will just come in place. So be positive. Don't think of what ifs and what ifs, because when you are going to do that, you will just lose your confidence in talking or facing whoever that is that you are going to meet for the first time. Next is be courteous and attentive. Why do we have to be attentive? Because you are going to be making an impression that you're someone who has, let's just say, you are going to make an impression that you are someone that's worth talking with or having a conversation with. So once you are attentive to the person you are speaking with, you can actually make small talks about what the person is talking about. So the person would notice how attentive you are to the one you're talking to, because you took conversations from what has been said or what has been conversed about. Okay, next is make eye contact, of course, because it is a conversation, because there is a conversation, it is necessary that you have to establish eye contact. That is actually one way to measure your sincerity. We can only know how sincere you are or how emotionally stable you are when you look at a person's eye, to the eyes of the person you are talking with. Lastly, of course, you need to speak clearly. You cannot just do eye contact with your entire interview. You have to open your mouth and speak up. Speak up. So make sure once you open your mouth, you speak clearly about your ideas, about your visions, about important things that is supposed to be talked about in your first meeting. All right. So those 6, I think those will be helpful, not just your job interviews perhaps, or in any interview that you are in for a certain goal that you are dreaming to attain of. So yeah, making first impressions. Now, what is my opinion about first impressions? My opinion about it, if we're gonna continue making first impressions, first impressions are very important when you have career stuff like that. But when we go about establishing connections with the people around us, I don't think I don't really make that much of good impressions anymore, because what I have is my motto now is, my mantra now is, I just have to be myself. So if looking at me, you might not get a very good impression because I don't really make one, or I don't really try my best to make good impression to people I meet every day. I don't do that anymore. So what happens is, the good thing about that is, because I don't make good impressions, I don't really try my best to make good impressions, I just be myself, I get to meet real people. So those people who actually stay with me to establish that bond, that relationship, are actually the genuine people, because they are not established because of the impressions that I made. That is because the relationship that we establish is based upon the willingness to know, to get to know the person. That is actually where or how you can test the sincerity of the relationship. It's not based on good impressions. It's not based on any impression. Or we cannot deny that first impression matters. Yes, it does. But if you are willing to confirm, if you're willing to get to know the person, you're gonna go establish a relationship, whether the first impression was good or not. So that is because I also am not a very people person. So if a person doesn't like me, I don't need to push myself. So I accept people who are willing to come to my life and who are willing to accept me as I am. So I'm just being myself. I don't meet you because I want to establish a good impression. So perhaps because I'm not a very fanatic person. Mostly those who are fanatic, they create big impressions on people that they really admire the most. I admire people still, but I don't really have to bend over backwards in order to get their attention to like me. I want people to like me because they have found out that I am likable, that they like me because of who I am, not because I made an impression that I am someone like this, someone like that. Okay? So it is very important that we are just being ourselves. We do not have to pretend to be someone else. That is how you can truly create a strong relationship with people. This is not about how many people you are attached with. This is how, this is the quality of relationship you have with people. This is not a race of numbers. I have been connected to millions of people, but who among them is the true one, the truest among those in your relationships? Okay, so let's hear from a friend who's been helping me out in my adventures lately. Okay, so
Hi, Sis Janelle Cogtas. I want to congratulate you for being a monetized channel. Deserve mo yan kasi you're so kind, napakabait at napakamatulungin. Yung minsan magugulat ka na lang, sabi siya na sis, na-play kita kagabi, ganun. Na ako kasi nung una kong kilala kay Sis Janelle, akala ko yung siya, very strict. Pero nung tumagal, isa pa lang napakabait. Yung handang tumulong na walang kahit hindi naghihintay ng kapalit. So again, congratulations Sis Janelle. Good luck sa channel mo. More subscribers to come and keep on going and fighting. Ayan. Good luck, Sisi. God bless you. And thank you also dahil isa ka rin sa tumulong sa akin para ma-reach ko yung requirements ni Lolo. At ayan, masaya ako kasi magkasabay lang tayo na Moni. Ayan, good luck sa atin sis, and God bless us sa ating journey. Ayan, bye!